Think about waking up one morning to a storm instead of a calm sunrise. You have to deal with a heavy and sad challenge, taking care of a loved one in their last days. Your soul is torn between family duties, work stresses, and long-neglected personal needs. This isn't just a physical battle, it's also a mental one, a fight over the greatest problems people have. When all hope seems to have disappeared, the darkness of challenge covers our souls and pushes our thoughts and emotions to the edge of impatience. When the darkness of life surrounds you, let Marcus Aurelius's life philosophy be a lighthouse that shines on the dark path you are on. Today, let's learn about 10 Stoic rules for a better life. The lessons Marcus Aurelius taught and showed us during his hard time as emperor. These rules are not only deep lessons, but also life rules that help us get through hard times. Come with us as we learn how to use the 10 rules from his book of meditations in our daily lives to make ourselves stronger in life's storms and smarter in every choice. Please promise to be with us on this journey, as each rule is meant to help you grow and develop your soul for a better life. Rule number 1. Another path is always open. Do you like art? Imagine that you're an artist who has worked hard for years to build your business. One day, the project you put all of your time and energy into fails badly. When your project's main partner pulls out, funding stops, and it looks like it won't work, you might feel hopeless and start to doubt your skills and self-worth. But friends, don't give up. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words, "There is always another path open." Yes, a road or door may be closed, but there are still many others waiting for you to explore them. As an emperor and philosopher, Marcus Aurelius knew all too well the feeling of pressure and responsibility. He lived and acted on the belief that there is no problem that can't be solved. If someone tries to stop you or hinder you, they can't because you are persistent and able to see life from different points of view. So when a door closes, don't just sit there and complain. Instead, open your eyes and find new paths for yourself. This not only helps us get through hard times, but it also makes us more flexible and adaptable. Good traits for someone who wants to be quiet. This story isn't just about sticking with something. It's also about realizing that every problem has a solution. By staying positive and looking for a way out, we can not only get through tough times, but also grow spiritually and intellectually by learning this rule. I urge you to open your own doors so that you never give up and always aim for the light of true understanding and freedom. We often face problems in life that seem impossible to solve, which can make us feel frustrated and hopeless. However, the Stoic way of thinking tells us that there is always another way to do things, no matter how bad things look. This way of thinking helps people be strong, flexible, and smart enough to see other options. We can handle life's problems more calmly and clearly if we believe that there is always another way to do things. Accept that you can change. Things can change quickly in life, and you can't plan for them to. Being flexible can help us deal with things that don't go as planned. Instead of sticking to one plan no matter what, be willing to change your strategy when problems arise. Being flexible helps us see new possibilities and find answers we might not have thought of before. Build up your resilience. Being resilient means being able to get back up after a failure and keep going. We gain the strength to keep going, even when things get hard, when we believe that there is always another way. This kind of resolve isn't about avoiding problems. It's about meeting them head-on and finding ways to get past them. Ask for a viewpoint. We often get stuck on one result or road, which can make it hard to make good decisions. We can find new ways to do things and better answers if we take a step back and look at things from a bigger picture. This means being open to different points of view and questioning what we think we know. This can help us solve problems in more creative and effective ways. Learn to accept what is. One of the main ideas of Stoicism is acceptance. It means seeing and accepting things as they really are, without fighting them. When we realize that problems are a normal part of life, it's easier to change our focus and look for other ways to get where we want to go. Accepting something doesn't mean giving up. It means recognizing what we can control and what we can't. Boost your creativity. To find new ways and answers, you need to be creative. We can see options where others only see dead ends if we work on our creative thought. To do this, we might need to come up with ideas, look for inspiration in different places, and be open to thinking outside the box. By being creative, we can turn problems into chances for growth and new ideas. Stoics believe that there is always another way to do something. This gives us the strength to face life's difficulties with confidence and clarity. We can get around problems better and find new ways to grow if we practice adaptability, grit, perspective, acceptance, and imagination. This way of thinking not only helps us solve problems better, but it also makes us feel peaceful and happy inside, because we know we can handle anything life throws at us. Rule number 2. You should be strict with yourself. Have you ever thought about why some people succeed and grow quickly in life while others don't? The answer isn't their natural talent or luck. It's how they live their lives. That's the difference between people who are strict with themselves and people who let themselves go all the time. We all know that Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, is very strict with himself. His very strict work schedule, he works 8,100 hours a week, shows this. He also has a very strict management style and is involved in every part of the business, from engineering to product design. When we are strict with ourselves, we not only strengthen our willpower, but we also learn how to recognize and break bad habits. Marcus Aurelius's book, Meditations, taught us that every day is a chance to become the best version of ourselves by practicing self-control and responsibility. This creates a space for stillness that lets us connect with our deepest selves and find happiness in the simplicity and true nature of life. Remember that being strict with yourself isn't a race to the finish line, but a journey of patience and consistency. It's a step-by-step process of finding and realizing your potential, as well as learning to accept and love yourself, no matter what. Marcus Aurelius's lessons tell us that real freedom and happiness are within us, not outside of us. They are in the choices we make every day about how to live and push ourselves. I'm strict with myself to show that I'm dedicated to growth through knowledge and, finally, freedom. Rule number 3. Get rid of your anxiety. This COVID-19 outbreak gives us a chance to look back on our lives with a fresh eye. A life without stress and worry. No more running to catch the early morning train, getting stuck in traffic, or stressing out about getting ready for big plans. People might think that having fewer things to worry about will make them feel calmer, but the truth is that we know worry doesn't just come from daily tasks or small problems. It's also hidden in our inner thoughts, in our hopes and dreams. We now have a better understanding of what worry is and how to deal with it, thanks to the pandemic. What matters is not how we say it. When we're anxious, our minds get caught in a vortex of what could be and what was. When we feel anxious, we think things like, "I don't like this," or "I'm worried about that." Marcus Aurelius told us to live in the present and not let our minds wander to worries about the future or regrets about the past. So when you feel anxious, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, then accept it as a natural part of life and a chance to learn and grow. If the answer is yes, then act without hesitation and don't let fear and anxiety cloud your reasoning. He also told us to enjoy every moment of our journey through life, because we will then realize that much of what we fear never happens, and that real challenges are often much smaller than our fears. Remember that our mind is the most powerful tool we have to deal with anxiety. When we learn to see things through the lens of reason, we will find peace and happiness. Letting go of worry is not just a rule for life, it is a gift we give ourselves. Anxiety can be a huge problem that gets in the way of our daily lives and makes it hard to find peace and focus. Stoicism is an old theory that can help you deal with and lessen your anxiety by giving you deep insights and useful methods. We can handle life's problems with more confidence and calmness if we focus on what we can control and adopt a mindset based on reason and strength. To help you get rid of your stress, here are 5 important ideas from Stoicism. Most of the time, nervousness comes from thinking about things we can't change. Stoicism says that we should know what we can control and what we can't. Focusing our energy and attention on things we can change, like our thoughts, actions and reactions, can help us feel less anxious and more in control. Tip: write down all of your fears right now. Sort them into things you can manage and things you can't. Promise to let go of worries that you can't change. Practice being present and mindful. Being in the present moment can help you feel less stressed about the future or bad about the past. One important part of Stoic practice is mindfulness, which means noticing our thoughts and feelings without judging them and living in the moment. Tip: set aside a few minutes every day to practice mindfulness meditation. Pay attention to your breath, and if your mind wanders, slowly bring it back. Reframe your bad thoughts. Stoics think that worry is often caused by how we think about things rather than the things themselves. We can lessen the power of negative thoughts over us by changing the way we think about them and seeing problems as chances to grow. Tip: when you're feeling stressed, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can this make me stronger? This change in point of view can help lower stress. Accept your own discomfort. Stoicism says that putting yourself in uncomfortable situations on purpose can make you stronger and less afraid of the unknown. We can become more flexible and less stressed about life's unknowns by choosing to be uncomfortable, like by taking cold showers or fasting. Actionable tip: pick a small, easy-to-handle pain to feel regularly. If you skip a meal, take a cold shower, or work out outside as examples. Over time, you'll notice that your patience and strength grow. Grow your gratitude. Gratitude helps us see what we have instead of what we don't have. By focusing on the good things in our lives, we can reduce our stress and feel better about ourselves. Tip: write down things you're thankful for every day. Write down 3 things you're thankful for every day. Think about these posts when you're stressed to remember yourself of the good things in your life. By applying these Stoic ideas to your daily life, you can slowly lower your stress and develop a calmer, stronger mind. Don't forget that this is a trip, and every little step you take brings you closer to being relaxed and more balanced. Accept the lessons of Stoicism and get your peace back. Rule number 4. Put people ahead of things. Marcus Aurelius had many stories that I really admire, but the one that moved me the most was about how, during the Antonine Plague, when Rome was in a lot of pain and trouble, Marcus Aurelius showed his strong leadership and compassion by selling valuable royal items like jewels, robes, and jewelry right on the lawn in front of the palace. This was not only an act of giving up luxury, but also a strong message of humility and being willing to share the burden with the people. Aurelius Marcus showed that real leadership doesn't put itself first. It always puts the needs of the people first, even when things are hard. Marcus Aurelius not only ran his empire wisely, but also with kindness. He showed us that everything we do and decide is part of a bigger community called humanity. The question is, how to live this out? Ice empathy and understanding. See everyone you meet as a member of your larger family. When you put the needs of others ahead of your own, you not only do a kind thing, but you also make a deep connection with the world around you in every relationship. Remember that compassion and understanding are the keys to peace and happiness. This is true in personal and professional relationships. If you treat co-workers, customers, and even strangers with kindness, you will not only create a better workplace, you will also help make society a better place. But putting others first doesn't mean you forget your own worth or your own interests. You should find a balance between caring for others and maintaining your own self-esteem and personal growth. According to Marcus Aurelius, this rule is not only a moral act, but also an art of living in order to find harmony and peace in relationships with others, because in the end, we don't just live for ourselves. Rule number 5. Do it one step at a time. Imagine, for example, if you want to learn Spanish, you can be exposed to it through a lot of useful things, like pictures and sounds. But the question is, what are the most important steps for you to take to begin this process? My advice is to take things one step at a time. Set a clear goal, like basic communication in 6 months. Then, every week, make time to learn new words and language. Don't forget to enjoy the process as you learn Spanish. Use apps to practice every day, even if you only have a few minutes. You could watch Spanish movies without subtitles or join an online Spanish learning group. Celebrate each new sentence or word you learn as a small step along the way. Every month, look at your progress. You'll probably make mistakes, but that's okay, because mistakes are how you learn. Stoicism teaches us that every task is a chance to grow. Go over what you've learned and make some small goals for the next few days. Taking things one step at a time isn't just a way to solve problems. It's also a way to care for our souls and learn to be happy with small steps forward and the process itself, not just the result. As Marcus Aurelius said, don't wait for perfection. Be happy with even the smallest step forward and regard the result as a small thing. This is a lesson in patience and persistence. You should think about and reevaluate your process at every step of the way if you want to be patient. Ask yourself, how am I doing? What could I do better? Self-examination not only helps us keep moving forward, but it also helps us grow as a whole. Remember, we don't have to run fast. We just need to keep moving forward. Please like this video if you're ready to start practicing step by step at work and in life. Rule number 6. Don't get angry at people. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Our life is what we think it is." When we let resentment take over our minds, we let this negative emotion run our lives. Resentment clouds reason and blocks the light of clarity. It not only hurts our mental health, but it also hurts our physical health. For example, if you work in a stressful environment and always have to deal with uncooperative co-workers, holding on to resentment every day will become a burden, and you will become more and more mentally and physically exhausted. On the other hand, if you learn to forgive and accept, the workplace will become kinder, and you will find peace in your work. Remember that forgiving someone does not mean accepting their wrongdoing. It is a choice for your own peace, not for the person who hurt you. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you forget about what happened. It means accepting the truth and moving on with your life. In history, there are great leaders like Nelson Mandela who did amazing things. But what makes Nelson Mandela truly amazing is that after 27 years in apartheid prison, he had almost no suspicion or hatred. He believes that reconciliation is the key to healing the wounds caused by the long, painful years of racism. Stoicism teaches us not only how to live, but also how to let go. When we let go of resentment, we make room for peace and harmony. Remember that every time you feel resentment, you have a choice. Keep feeding the seeds of resentment, or choose a path that brings peace to your soul. When you learn not to resent others, you not only free yourself, but you also open the door to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. This is a solid step on the path of wisdom and peace that Marcus Aurelius aimed for. Anger is a normal feeling, but it can make us make bad decisions and do things we later wish we hadn't. Stoicism says that controlling your anger is a key part of staying calm and logical. We can make better decisions, live more peacefully, and improve our relationships if we learn to control our anger and stay calm when someone irritates us. The lessons of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers can help us understand why we shouldn't get mad at other people and how to become more calm and understanding. Figure out what's making you angry. Anger often comes from what we think and what we expect. The main reason someone acts in a way we think is rude or unfair is that we thought they would behave differently. When we realize that our anger comes from our own demands, we can start to deal with it better. Remember that people act the way they do because of who they are and what they are going through, which we may not fully understand. Show compassion and empathy. When someone upsets us, it's helpful to try to see things from their point of view. Everybody has problems, and the things that make them act the way they do may have causes we don't know about. By learning to understand how others feel, we can control our anger and act with patience and kindness instead. Not only does this help us, but it also makes interactions and understanding better. Pay attention to what you can change. Stoicism tells us to let go of things we can't change and focus on the things we can. We can't change the way other people act, but we can change how we respond to it. By focusing on how we react, we can stay calm and make decisions that are in line with our ideals and beliefs. Try to think logically. It's important to stop and think clearly when you're angry. Think about whether you have a right to be angry and whether it will help you solve the problem. Anger often makes us lose our sense of right and wrong and make bad choices. Taking a moment to think about what we're going to say or do can help us react more carefully and effectively, based on reason instead of emotion. Do your best to forgive. Keeping a grudge or being angry can be bad for our mental and emotional health. When we forgive others, we can let go of bad feelings and move on with a lighter heart. Forgiving someone doesn't mean we agree with bad behavior. It means we let go of our anger. When we forgive others, we make room for peace within ourselves and growth. Keeping your temper in check is an important part of Stoic practice. To live a happier and more peaceful life, we can figure out what makes us angry, show kindness, concentrate on the things we can control, think logically, and forgive others. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to get back at someone who hurt you is to be unlike them." We can get over our anger and become the best versions of ourselves if we follow these Stoic ideals. Rule number 7. A job well started is half done. Maybe Marcus Aurelius has a better morning routine than you do. This is because every step he took to get out of bed in the early mornings awakened both his body and his soul. As king, Marcus Aurelius wasn't required to get up early. He could easily stay up late without anyone noticing or his income going down. When dawn came, Marcus Aurelius was ready with a clear mind and a ready spirit. For him, getting up early wasn't just a habit, it was a spiritual ritual, a way to practice willpower and discipline. In the quiet moments of early morning, he listened to the voice of reason, and prepared his soul to face life's challenges calmly and steadfastly. Wake up early and start your day by exploring the stillness of the morning, where you can relax, meditate, or practice self-observation. You can also write down your thoughts, feelings, or goals for the day in a book. This helps you make a plan in your head for the day and keep your attention on what's important. Rule number 7. This is not only a principle, but also a way of life. It's about realizing that every dawn is not only the start of a new day, but also a chance to reaffirm and practice the values of Stoic philosophy on the path of always trying to improve ourselves. If you're willing to wake up early like Marcus Aurelius did, leave a comment. I will also wake up early to let you know how determined you are. Setting goals for a job or work can be the hardest part. One well-known saying, "A job well started is half done," and the old philosophy of Stoicism both say that the beginning sets the tone for the whole thing. Before you start, you should do some things that will help you do them better. This will help you be more efficient, effective, and successful. This principle stresses how important it is to be ready, to plan, and to have the right attitude from the start. Let's look at 5 main points to see how we can use this knowledge in our everyday lives. Getting ready carefully. Plan ahead. Take the time to understand the job at hand and write down the steps you need to take to finish it. Gather resources. Before you start, make sure you have all the tools, supplies, and knowledge you need. Set clear goals. Figure out what success means for this job and set goals that can be measured. Pay attention and concentrate. Get rid of distractions. Make a place to work where you won't be interrupted or distracted. Mindfulness. Try to be fully present and pay attention to what you're doing. Figure out what's most important and start working on those parts of the job first. Positive thoughts. Confidence. Go into the task with a good mood and faith in your skills. What drives you? Know why the job is important and keep that in mind. Getting over procrastination. To get past the inertia of procrastination, start with small, doable steps. Time management that works. Set due dates. Set clear due dates for each part of the project to make sure steady progress. Break it down. To keep from feeling stressed, break the job up into smaller, easier-to-handle parts. Focus on one part of the job at a time to make sure quality and speed. Don't try to do too many things at once. Always getting better. Learn and change. Be willing to learn from the process and change things as needed. Ask for feedback. Ask other people what they think to find ways to improve your work and make it better. Take some time to think about what went well and what could be done better next time. If you start off right, the process will go more smoothly and be more fun. To make sure that a job well started is actually half done, you need to plan ahead, stay focused, have a good attitude, handle your time well, and be dedicated to always getting better. Should you follow these rules, you will be able to finish your work faster and with more pleasure. Rule number 8. Do not forget these words. Marcus Aurelius's lessons have become a never-ending source of inspiration for all of us. Through these lessons, we learn how to create and maintain a peaceful and meaningful life. In Rule 8, let me go over 3 important mantras that will help you live a better, more fulfilling life. First, love stories. Fate and love. Amor fati tells the Stoic not only to accept fate, but also to welcome it. All events, good or bad, are welcome because they are part of life. Enjoy and treasure every moment because they all have their own value and help you grow as a person. Journey second. What matters in life is not only what happens to you, but also what you do for other people. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can always choose how to react to it. Take advantage of every chance to make a positive impact on the people around you. This will create a chain of positive effects in the common good. Neighborhood third time M. Mori, thinking about death memo. Mori is not a negative way of thinking, but a warning of how uncertain and limited life is. Remember that everything ends, so we become humble and focus on living a worthwhile life, instead of wasting time on useless things as we start our journey following the Stoic philosophy. These 3 mantras will not only help us deal with the problems we face in life, but they will also change the way we see the world around us. We learn to be grateful for everything, act wisely in all situations, and always remember that every moment is valuable. Rule number 9. Ask yourself, is this really important? You're busy, I'm busy, but stop for a moment is something we often say when we're really busy. Marcus Aurelius says we should ask ourselves how much of the things we do every day really add value. This is a simple but deep way of thinking that can help us figure out what's important and keep our attention on it. Marcus Aurelius said that most of the things we do or say every day don't really matter. We often do jobs because other people force us to, or because it's the right thing to do. The question is this: does this help us figure out what tasks and decisions need to be prioritized? Getting rid of unimportant jobs not only makes your life easier, but it also helps you focus on things that are important. This not only makes you better at your job, but it also makes you happy and satisfied in your personal life. Stoicism teaches us that time is the most valuable thing a person has. If you knew you were going to die tomorrow, would you still do pointless things? This question forces us to rethink our priorities and goals, which helps us live each day more fully and meaningfully. When we get rid of unimportant tasks, we not only find inner peace, but we also get more time. This is in line with the Stoic philosophy, which says that spiritual freedom and peace are the ultimate goals. So always ask yourself, is this essential in everything, from daily tasks to life-changing decisions? Do this with every thought, and you will slowly realize that the things you once thought were important don't really add value. Rule number 10. Accept change. According to the Stoic view, change is not only a necessary part of life, it is also what life is all about. Mark Antony stressed that everything that happens either happens because you are naturally able to handle it or because you are not naturally able to handle it. Everything in the universe is always changing, and that's a sign of life. Instead of fighting or being afraid of change, we should accept and embrace it as a part of our journey of personal growth and development. When unexpected things happen, don't see them as problems. Instead, see them as chances to train yourself to learn new things and discover new things. We are asked to leave our safe zones by your inner strength change. We are encouraged to be patient, kind, and wise by it. To be stoic, you need to learn more than just how to deal with change. You need to learn how to find meaning and value in each change. When we see change as a natural part of life, we not only find it easier to adapt, but we also find inner peace and strength that help us get through any challenge. We can use obstacles to grow as people by working together. Marcus Aurelius taught us 10 rules for a better life. Each rule is not just advice, but also a way of life that helps us face challenges, find joy, and cherish every moment of life. Remember that Stoic philosophy is not just something to think about, but also something to do. We learn that controlling our emotions, thinking positively, and living with purpose are the keys to a happy and meaningful life. Putting these principles into practice in our daily lives not only helps us become the best versions of ourselves, but it also makes positive changes in the communities around us. Please say what you think about the rule that strikes you as the most important. I will make my life better, so that we can see how determined you are to follow these rules. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get the newest videos from us. Together, we will continue our journey of self-discovery and growth.